Khalif's performance?
Well, I think it's something that we all appreciate about him. He's really a good scorer. He really knows how to get the ball in position to score it, whether it's a jump shot or driving it to the rim. So I can't sit here tonight and say I was surprised with how well he played, because he's that good a basketball player. And I think he's getting better on the defensive end, which we're always harping on him as well. But he has these kinds of games in him.
Fran, you pleased with how he's progressed? It seemed like when he came in, he knew he had to work on his defense. He's done that. He knew he had to get in better condition. He shed some weight. Are you pleased with not just the scoring, but how he's kind of just progressed in those areas?
Yeah, I am, but he can also make the next step, too, that he can continue to really work hard at all aspects of the game, including his conditioning, including his understanding of the defensive side of things. But he's a terrific scorer, and he's a valuable asset for us to have.
Fran, these big five games are usually the tough, hard-fought ones, more of a matter of survival. How do you think the team reacted to this kind of game?
Well, I don't think we played as well as Penn played. I will say that. I thought we did good things at certain times, but we didn't play as well as the Penn guys played. I thought they played hard. I thought they had a good plan. I thought they defended us well for the most part. And we got lucky with Khalif having a game like he had today. But I think Jerome deserves a lot of credit for where they are as a basketball team and a program, and it will continue to grow, and he'll make it very, very good very soon.
And you see some similar things in the way he gets his team to do things?
I hope not. I hope he does it way better than me, and in a much nicer fashion. And I think he's just a good human being and a good coach, and I think he's a natural coach. I think life will be good for him in this world and in this sport, because he's such a good person.
Where's LaVoy Allen right now?
Yeah, I think he has a lot of pressure, and I think he's handling it about as good as you can. I say to him all the time, I yell at him and wish he would do better things and be more assertive and aggressive. But LaVoy is who he is, and I think we all need to probably take a step back and appreciate that about him. And as I say to him, and I've said it to him a number of times now, I don't know where we would be over these last 3.5 years and 3 years and change without him. He's that good a basketball player. And what we do each game is we give everybody a grade. And I will tell you that he is so far above the floor. There's a number of guys, including Ramon and Scooty and Juan, they're all minuses for the year. He is plus 50. That's where he is in his grades. And so, and the grades don't always say, I shot 5 for 7. The grades say, I'm never out of position defensively. I'm covering up for everybody. I'm not turning it over. There's a lot of pluses that he brings to the table that he doesn't show in the box score. And I think that's what, I think everybody wants him to be this just crazed guy, on the court, be this high motor. Well, he's not. He is who he is, and I'll take him. And again, I would hate to see where we would be without him.
Fran, when you're coaching against a guy like Jerome and you know each other so well, are there things that you change or maybe he changes, or is it simply just about execution on that given night?
Yeah, I don't think that at this time of year they may have had a little bit better chance of doing that because they've had such space between their games, and they may look and see, they may, whatever, they may blast ball screens like they did really hard tonight, although they've done that in the past as well. So there may be some subtle changes, but I don't think at this point in the season you can change a whole lot. You might have an offensive set that you may change and just subtly change some things, out of bounds plays or some of those things. But in the end, it's going to be because you have worked hard at whatever it is that you do well is the reason why you're going to win the game. I think we threw a couple zone possessions at them tonight, and that helped us, really, to be honest with you. We created some turnovers, but we're not a zone team. That's not what we do. I'm not a good enough teacher of zone to make us a zone team, but we have a thing out there you throw out there. But in all honesty, I think you got to be who you are, and I believe that's who Penn will be, and I hope that's who we will be as well.
In that context, Fran, how important was it to get a win tonight, wherever the opponent is?
Well, every game is critical. This is a long season, and every game is critical. We're going to have a tough game on Saturday at Xavier, and we're looking forward to that. But it's going to be an absolute challenge for us, and hopefully we'll be up to the challenge. They don't lose very much there, and so then once that's over, we'll set our sights to Charlotte and see what we can do against them. But every game's a battle.
Is it ever get easy coaching against guys like Jerome? I mean, you do it with Fran and
some other guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I don't think it ever gets easy, but what it doesn't ever get is fun. It's not fun. I root for him so much and root for the Penn guys, and because of what the school gave to me, the institution gave to me, and here I'm looking down the other bench, and it's a guy that, without him, I'm not so sure where I would be, to be honest with you, without Jerome Allen. I think he made me, gave me an opportunity to remain in coaching, I will say to you.
5 or 6 minutes to go in the game, Fran, and they have 20 turnovers, and you're shooting 50% or close, and you're only up by 6.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Well, I think that's the craziness of the game. I showed a stat that to our guys tonight. In our league play, we have more fouls, more personal fouls committed on us than the opposition, like 4 more fouls. And we have shot 15 or 17 more foul shots. How does that work? How does that happen? I don't understand that phenomenon. But they made threes. They stepped out and they made shots in a very timely fashion. And we didn't play our best basketball, and a lot of that, again, is how Penn prepared for us and did a good job of that. But we're in one of those stretches that we're going to have to grind every game in order to be a good basketball team. And the grind really has to be at the defensive end. We're going to have to work our butt off on the offensive end too. We have like Juan's not playing great. We're not a smooth running machine here offensively. He wasn't playing great before the injury. He's not playing as well this year as he did last year. He's not shooting it quite as well. But you know what? I don't want to be out on the court too much without him either, because he's that kind of person and he's a tough guy. And hopefully he'll start to gel as well. But we're in one of those stretches where we're going to have to grind every game and every possession too.
Fran, they had a lot of pretty good open looks from the perimeter in the first half, and you kind of buried your head in your hands and did the classic coaches thing at the end of the first half when they got an inbound pass there.
Yeah.
Did you do anything to shore that up after half?
Well,
the second half, it looked like they had not as many good looks.
Well, I don't think it was necessarily what we did. Well, maybe it was. I think at the end of toward the end of the first half, we started switching everything, and that's what caused me a great deal of pain the last possession of the first half, because we didn't switch when we needed to. Then in the second half, they got used to us switching so much, and they made some changes offensively, and they hurt us a couple times. They did a really good job. They stepped up and made some shots. But I was pleased overall with our defense once we made the adjustment after the first 10 minutes or so.
Coach, can you talk about Scooty Randall's defense in the first half, and was his quick production, were you expecting anything further from him?
Scooty Randall's defense in the first half?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Scoot, he's one of those guys that's in a position in the season where he struggled a little bit too. His grades are not where they need to be. And he needs to continue to work really hard at the game all the time. He's a real good defender, but he gave up a couple of plays that he can't give up, and normally he doesn't. But again, this is a long season, and that's where I got to take a step back and really will evaluate greatly with the film going on. And Scoot has been as valuable a guy as we've had. But the last couple of games, he's got to do better than he's done right now.
Fran, you took-
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, coming off that loss to Duquesne, did you think your team responded the way you wanted them to respond overall, though?
Yeah, overall, for the most part, we did. Yeah, I thought our effort was good physically. I'm not sure it was as good mentally as we needed it to be. And again, I thought they played very well in a large part of the game.
Can you talk, Fran, about the impact then of the 23 turnovers that
Yeah, we're not a team that forces that many. We're not a big pressing kind of team. So I thought we read passing lanes pretty good. And as I look at steals tonight, you get Scooty with 4, which is obviously good, and you get Khalif with 5. But that's the kind of defensive player Khalif can be. He's still not as good as he is. He needs to be on the ball, but he's good off the ball and can read passing lanes. And he's a very, very intelligent. He got a huge basketball IQ. Huge.
Coach, when you started your press conference and said Penn played better than you did, is that your teaching point to this team, that they may walk away and say we won by 17, but you're going to go in there and say, here's this, here's that, and that's how you move forward?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question, Paul. You teach every single moment that you can, and so we'll evaluate with the film tomorrow as much as we possibly can, because we have to move on to Xavier. But we'll see as many clips as we can of maybe some mental breakdowns that you can't have if you're going to be, let's say, on the road at Duquesne or on the road at Xavier last week and this week. We've got to be perfect in our mental approach. And again, at this time of the year, there's a lot of things going on in these guys' heads. We've played a lot of games, and you're going to have some downtime, but we can't afford to have downtime right now. We have to really start to pick up, and it'll be constantly that reminder of what we have to do on the mental side of things. The physical side, I mean, they're all good athletes. They're all young, and they can stay in pretty good physical condition, but the mental aspect has really got to be where we have to make the greatest strides over the next couple of weeks.
There were times it seemed like Juan was laboring just to get down the court and then have a burst and hit a shot. And I mean, is it tough for you to evaluate where he is physically and the things he can do when sometimes he looks good and sometimes he looks like he's...
Yeah, it's like he made a pass or a tip pass to Lavoie that he didn't need to make. All he had to do was gather the ball against their pressure, and he's probably going to get fouled, and he's one of our best foul shooters. But he didn't do a good job of that. You know, I mean, he didn't work at that part of the game. So he's not played as well this year as he has played in the past. And now you're throwing in a bone bruise in your knee that really, it hurts. I'm sure but he's a tough dude, and he wants to be out there, and we need him to be out there. But we need him to make the adjustment of the injury. And he's got a pretty big brace on. You've got to make the adjustment. You're not going to be flying around as much, but you can be smarter than you've ever been in your life, and let's figure that out.
Anything else?